Hi guys, Donna here with your weekly mini reading for November 6th through the 12th, 2023. It's crazy that we're already into November. Remember that November is an 11 month, so it's 11 is a manifesting number, a master number, and we have the 1111 portal coming up, which has to do with manifestation as well. And it's a time when we have more light being pushed into the planet, which means it might get a little rocky again because it's pushing up all of the darkness. The light's coming in, pushing all the darkness up to the surface. So we need to remember to stay as positive as we can, breathing, grounding. Going back to our manifestation, you might want to think about what are 3 things you would like to manifest by the end of the year and into the first quarter. That might be something that you'd want to think about. 11 and 11 is, like I said, a very important time. So if you send a message or a text or post on Facebook something that you would like to manifest, I will put that in my little manifestation notebook that I keep and really try to manifest and pray on that and help you through the manifesting angels manifest that, especially if it's for the highest and best good of all concerned, right? So start to think about that. 1111 is just a really, really important portal. But also we have 1111 twice a day, right? We have 1111 a.m., we have 1111 p.m. And for the most part, when we see that, we want to say, make a wish, what do I wish to have happen? And if you're having negative thoughts, then you want to do a cancel, cancel, clear, clear, to delete out, to have St. Michael clear out that energies so that you have a clean slate. So last week, we had soulmate listening and focus from the Healing with the Angel deck by Doreen Virtue. We had Be Honest with Yourself from St. Michael. And then finally, we had the gratitude list from the Angels of Abundance. And, I hope you were able to work with that energy. I hope you were able to really listen and focus in on what you really wanted. That maybe you had a really good week where you were able to balance out the masculine, the feminine, or you had some signs that a soulmate was coming to you. Maybe you had a dream about someone coming soon, or maybe you had a pet show up, or someone was talking about their soulmate. These are the kind of things that come up for us that give us an indication that we're on the right path. We're getting the information. It's like little signs from the angels. Also, I hope you were able to really work with that energy of being honest with yourself. Where in your life do you need to make change? Are you being pushed to the limit in certain areas of your life? And are you ready for change? You might be resisting, which is going to cause anger and resentment to come up, frustration, all of that. This hasn't been the best week, at least for me, with, the internet and having things interrupted and not going smoothly. Yesterday, when I was on Friday, today's Monday. On Friday, we had an accident near the house. Took out the power from say 4:30 in the afternoon to about 8 in the morning, right? And I woke up and it was completely dark, and that was unsettling. And then the electricity comes back on. I think, okay, good, we're good. And I get ready to go out. I open the garage. I'm getting ready to leave. And all of a sudden there are 2 fire trucks and the fire marshal. It turned out we have some construction in a neighborhood and somebody hit a gas main. So there was a gas leak. So they turned off gas, luckily, to everybody. But it was that was a very hard day. Friday for me was a really hard day. Everything just seemed to have one obstacle in front of it, one after the other. So I had to take a breath. I had to breathe. I had to stay calm. I had to ask the angels and ancestors of the roadway to roll out, that golden carpet. I asked St. Michael, roll out the golden carpet. Let me get to my destination safely. But then I get there, and then where I was, the internet was down. So just all of these different things happening and trying to balance. It's about balance, right? So I'm going to call in St. Michael, Raphael, Uriel, and Gabriel, and let's see what they have for us this week. Now, Saturday is 11/11, next Saturday, and it is Veterans Day. So a shout out to all the veterans out there. Know that 11/11 is a very important time on Veterans Day. They always start their programs usually at that time as well. All right, so we have 3 cards: Divine Timing, Freedom, and Children that came up. So the first card that we have is Divine Timing. So what we know when that card shows up is everything is in divine and perfect order, right? Last week we were wanting to manifest a soulmate. We were focusing, we were listening. Now this week is about the divine timing of it all. Everything is in divine and perfect order. So when things don't come to you as quickly as you'd like them to, or you feel frustrated because things aren't moving as fast as you want them to, you know, we have to remind ourselves everything is in divine and perfect order. This isn't our time, it's God's time. You know, the Lord's Prayer says, "Thy will be done, not my will, thy will." And sometimes that's hard. We have to remember there's a timing involved. And when divine timing comes up, this is talking about the angels working behind the scenes and in your favor. But if you try to push it too soon or not soon enough, there's a disconnect. And what we want this one is to go smoothly. Is the next card is Freedom. And in the Freedom card is about you being free. And we had that a few times. We had it on the week of October 16th. And, you know, when the Freedom card comes up, again, it's a reminder that we're free to have our own thoughts, right? We're really more free than we give ourselves credit for. You might be feeling very despondent due to the energies of the planet and all the wars that are going on, people who are tragically being killed, civilians who are being killed during these wars, and feeling powerless to do that. But know that you have the freedom. We still have freedom of our thoughts. We can still pray for them. We can pray for their families. We can pray for a ceasefire. We can pray that good will prevail in the end. It's a very challenging time to do that, and all of us feel that pain, or at least the majority of us, I believe, especially if you're an empath. You're not only picking up your own angst, you're picking up the angst of the whole world, and all of that sadness that happens, and all that fear that is coming to the surface. But again, I would remind you, 11/11 is coming, and we have to be diligent. We have to be resilient. We have to be discerning. We have to really anchor our light. We have to ask God to really help us. This is the time. The mystics talked about the 3 days of darkness. They talked about always having a connection with God. This is the time they were talking about. They were talking about how it feels like we're in the dark. It feels like we don't know. It feels like we're powerless. But the truth is, God has a reason and a purpose for all of this, and there is a divine plan here. We may not be able to see it because we're down on the earth, right? But God has a plan. And always remember, we don't know the time or the hour of God's timing. So that's the divine timing. This is about God's timing, not our timing, right? And it may seem like we're stuck, or it may seem like we're restricted. But what we have to do is figure out how to get around that. How can we do one thing for ourselves, maybe in self-care, to step away from the news for a day, or to make art, do something creative, do something where you're exploring that freedom of thought, freedom. Maybe you're writing about in a journal about what's happening now in our world, so that, you know, years from now, when you have grandchildren, they can read about what it was like to live in the United States during the years of 2023, the ending of 2023. These have been hard years, you know, the 20s. But if you look back through the centuries, you'll notice that usually during the 20s of each of the centuries, there were many things, turmoils that happened in that first 25 to 30 years. And then finally, we have children. What a perfect card here. This is about praying for the children, praying for our children, praying for the world's children, and also being in touch with our inner child, comforting ourselves and knowing that we are safe and that we will be okay, and that we have to trust that maybe there have been times in our life as adults where we have felt we have betrayed ourselves, and we've betrayed our little inner, in this case, my inner Donna. You know, how can I get her to trust me again? But this is a week to focus on that. It's a week to focus on your inner child, focus on your grandchildren, focus on your children, focus on the children of the world, pray for them. But know that the children are our greatest hope, because they are going to help us rise up out of this darkness. They are little sparkles of light that have come to the planet to help us awaken. And it is very challenging right now. And it is very hard, especially when you watch families and children, innocence being taken away. It's hard to get that back. And we're living in a time of where everything is transparent, where we see things on the news. We're all connected globally through the YouTube, through all of the social platforms, and so we're caught up in all of that energy, especially when we watch it, right? So if you can, just take, you know, a minute in a day when you get up in the morning and just kind of relax and pray that, you know, please watch over all of us, Father. Please watch over the children, that they may show us how to rise up out of this darkness. And also remember to embrace your little inner child. Tell them you love them, that everything is going to be okay. And that will help. I find if I put my hands on my heart and I close my eyes and I tell my little Donna, it's all going to be okay. I don't know how it's going to turn out, and I'm not going to make you promises. But I will say that we know that God has a purpose and a plan. We may not see what it is, but we've always had that faith, and we're going to continue to have that faith. So just remember to watch over the children, maybe do something with your children. Know that you have freedom and that everything is in divine and perfect order. Now we'll ask St. Michael what he wants to tell us this week. This is a good one. Stay the course. Don't panic. You're not on the wrong path. You're just having a bumpy start. Learn from your experiences and keep going. Okay, so this kind of goes hand in hand with what I was talking about with the children, right? And our fear. We have to stay the course. We don't need to panic. We ask St. Michael to help us. That's what he's there for. And he can be with you and me and all the children. And you can send prayers. You can send angels. You can ask to help the families, send angels of comfort and prayers of comfort and seeing the light. And, you know that those children and those people that have chosen this time to help us all awaken, they are blessed. And it's such a tragedy, but it helps humanity awaken and rise up into who they need to be. It's time to stop the madness, but we can't if we don't see it. So now it's being put right in front of our faces, and there's nothing more we can do but stay the course, right? And the more that we can do this as a collective, the faster this will be resolved. But I love this. Don't panic. You're not on the wrong path. Because I think sometimes we do think we're on the wrong path. We've started down this path and we think, oh gosh, did I make the wrong choice? Is this really what I want to do? And you can certainly shift and change that. But in this regard, this week, we're not on the wrong path. We don't need to panic. But what we do need to do is realize we're just having a bumpy start, right? Learn from our experiences and keep going. Just keep going. Keep focusing on the big. Anchor the light. Show love. Be kind. Be compassionate to others, right? Now, I'm going to ask the abundance angels to see what they have to say, because we're coming into our big season, right? We've got Thanksgiving, we've got Christmas, we've got New Year's coming up. It doesn't seem possible, but here we are back at this time. Okay, cooperation instead of competition. What's yours is yours, and no one can take that from you. There's no need to compete, so there's an abundance for all. You have complete access to unlimited abundance for yourself and to share with others. With cooperative partnerships, you can accomplish anything. Okay, so with the Angel of Abundance this week, it's talking about cooperation. It's talking about partnerships, right? It's talking about what's ours is ours, but we want to share it. So maybe this week, and I love this card. It's so beautiful, okay? I think this week, maybe what we need to do is we need to think about those that we partner with. Are we partnering with someone who is as generous as we are? Are we realizing that we don't need to compete against anybody? Even if we're a very competitive person, the truth is there's really no competition. There's plenty. There's always money available. There really is. It may not seem like it because we may not have it in our lives, but my personal belief is there's always money floating around, right? And if we are in God mind and we're asking for abundance to come to us and we're grateful using the gratefulness list, then the people that we need to partner with will show up in our lives. And maybe this is what this is saying. This week is the week where St. Michael is going to bring us those partnerships that are going to help us, right? Asking for help, receiving help, not resisting, cooperation, community, right? Allowing ourselves to feel part of a bigger whole than just us. You know, what kind of legacy do you want to leave? What would you like to be remembered for going forward? You know, these kind of things are okay to think about, especially right now. And it's also saying that there's abundance for all. So again, the prayer that I use that I find brings me new jobs, new opportunities is thank you, Father, for blessing me now with unexpected, infinite, and immediate financial abundance. And when I pray that prayer, it makes me be more in an abundant mindset, because we all can fall. We all fall down. We all have times where it's rough and we're all living paycheck to paycheck. I'm there with you. I know how that feels. And, you know, I am not a person that's driven necessarily by money. However, I am driven by helping others. And through helping others, I also realize that sometimes I have to ask for help. And that's really hard for me because I tend to be very independent and I want to do it myself. My mother was that way too, right? I learned a lot from my mother because both my parents actually, because when I went home to help them, they didn't want me to help them. And I said, I said, I know you don't, but I need you to let me, right? And it was hard for them, and I could see that, and they struggled with that. And I thought, you know, Donna, if you ever get in this position, you're going to say thank you, and you're just going to be grateful, and you're not going to be resentful, and you're not going to think it's because you're not capable. Because sometimes I think when we ask for help, it's hard for us because we don't want to be dependent upon someone else. But the truth is we're all interdependent on each other anyways, because we're humans. and humans like to be in contact with other humans. And, we've had a huge year since 2020 when we had the pandemic and everybody was kind of isolated. And now we're beginning to go out and we're beginning to socialize again. And, we're beginning to start to have those friendships reappear where we can actually go and see each other in person and enjoy our time with the people that we love. So this week, look at yourself and see, is there an area where you compete where maybe you can be more cooperative? That would probably be a good thing to do. And through that, remember to stay the course. You're on the right path, that you're going to connect to children or your inner child. You're going to know that you have freedom, and that you're going to know that everything is in divine and perfect order, and that all is well, right? All is well. So I hope you enjoyed this mini reading. I hope you have a great week. Don't forget Veterans Day on 11/11. Make your list. Try to stay calm. Try to stay balanced. And I will see you next Monday. Don't forget, you're always on my Reiki Radar. See you then. Oh, and if you'd like to subscribe, you know the drill. See ya.